Good evening, everybody! Welcome to round 6 of International Sim Racing Organization's 1986 F1 Series, coming to you from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. Cars are finishing their qualifying effort, and we will be going to the track in a bit for a preview lap. And I'm joined in the booth by Alberto Ibañez and Ryan Walker. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Great to be here again for another great season, another great evening of ISO racing.
Yep, good evening all. Good to be back.
You can hear the cars out on the track right now. Let's have a look at where we are standings-wise at the moment, because I believe the clock just ran out. And it appears that Richard Wilkes is on the pole at the moment, with Grant Riddall second, David Jakes third, Tim Hilla fourth, Anders Nilsson fifth, Adam Hackman sixth, Vadim Tasiak seventh, Juha Boss eighth, David Saber ninth, and Ray Riddall in 10th. So a lot of the usual suspects up front, gentlemen.
Indeed, the four first qualified are, as you all can see, Renault engines, because this is a power track. This is a track that will favor the most powerful engines, the ones that can go quicker in the main straights. So it's no surprise in that regard that we see the Renault engines up there.
Yes, certainly. This is a case where it's going to be a power circuit because it's a lot of acceleration up through the gears, then right back down again for hairpins. And in fact, that's a good segue to take a look at the track map itself. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on a man-made island in the St. Lawrence Seaway. First hosted the Canadian Grand Prix in 1978, where of course the aforementioned Gilles Villeneuve won his first Grand Prix, fittingly not only in his home country but not far from where he grew up. And this is a very interesting track, a very taxing one for the drivers and the cars, Alberto.
It is, yes. It's a track that it's compared, or many people say that it's a bit like the North American, like the Canadian Monza, because it's very fast and interrupted by very slow chicanes, which means that you have a big contrast between both things. It is a track where you need very good rhythm to be consistent and also quick, and you need to be fast in the quick and in the slow sections. You need therefore to have a compromise in the setup. Low wings will favor quick laps and better fuel use, but it can be a quick lap time killer in the snaky chicanes area. You will see when we follow Jason and another driver in the time lap that there is an area where there are several continuously chicanes, and that's a point where you need some wing to give you the downforce to go very quick to that section. In any case, it's a track that is enclosed by walls. It's more akin to a city track than a permanent road course, and that means that any error can be absolutely deadly here, Jason.
Yeah, I like to say that this track is very similar to Belle Isle here in Detroit, because it's on an island, you're surrounded by water, but yeah, it is very much like a street circuit because you don't have very much runoff. Ryan, what do you think the concerns are for the drivers going into this race?
Yeah, like Alberto said, I have to agree, but I think brakes are going to be a major factor as well, because you're just basically you're going so fast, and then all of a sudden you're having to slow down really quickly. So I think the brakes are going to be a factor in this race tonight. So it's something that's going to be in the drivers' minds that maybe in the early stages of the race they won't try and push too hard. They'll maybe just try and be conservative a little bit, and then if they towards the end that they're in a battle and they've got enough brakes left, then I think you'll see them go for it.
Well, why don't we transition into the point standing situations right now? Ryan, why don't you tell us where the drivers' standings are at right now?
So yeah, the drivers' championship at the moment, the standings as they are after Spa, is Richard Wilkes currently leading the championship on 22 points, but only 1 point behind with 21 points is the flying Swede Anders Nilsson, with Dave Miller having a good start to the season in third on 17 points, with Juha Boss joint third as well with 17 points. Richard Coxon in fifth. He might be a little bit happy with that start to the season, but I think he would have wanted to do better. And then the Canadian David Jakes is in joint fifth. And then seventh place we've got Gabriele Del Piccolo, Grant Riddall in eighth, Ray Riddle in ninth, with Tim Hill in 10th, 11th is Brian Yannick, and round out the standings as well is John Team.
So when we look at the top five in the constructors championship, that's it's a little bit more spread out, but still very early days there too.
Yeah, pretty much. It's all still to play for, and also I think trying to predict a championship winner in the drivers' championship is going to be really difficult, but should be a fantastic battle nevertheless. And also in the teams' championship as well, we've got Scuderia Ferrari currently leading the way on 33 points, with the John Player Special Team Lotus team in second with 24 points, and then the Benetton, the Formula team, in third to 22 with 22 points. So the top three still really close together. And then the Marlborough McLaren International team in fourth, with Cannon Williams Honda team in joint fourth. And then in sixth, we've got a Quick Leisier with seventh, the Motor Racing Developments team, and Team Haas USA rounding out the standards in that championship.
Yeah, and don't forget that what we have been just seeing is not the exact picture of the championship in terms of the drivers, because there are drop results here. So it could look very different at the end of the season. Well, very different. I mean, the ones that are winning races and that are on the top, they will likely be at the top, but it doesn't mean that Wilkes, who is leading now, is going to be the champion once we eliminate the worst results.
Yeah, absolutely. With drop weeks or drop races as well, I think that's going to play into that championship as well. So I think it's like you say, the drop weeks are going to play a factor, and I think it'll make the championship battle even more spicier.
All right, so now why don't we go for a lap of this circuit with one of our drivers, in this case Richard Coxon, and this will give us a good idea of what the drivers will be facing going into this Canadian Grand Prix. So here we have Coxon exiting the final turn, and now onto the main straight. This is, truth be told, the 1988 layout, but it's the AMS build. So it's a very good build of Ile Notre Dame, heading through the second turn, which unwinds very rapidly. And you can see Montreal to the left there. Now going a right and left chicane, one of many chicanes that you have to get absolutely right, because you see the barriers on both sides of the track. If you make a mistake, there's nowhere to go. Now, left, right, and you can see downtown Montreal just ahead there. So the pattern of the track is a very consistent one. Long straightaways, high speed, and then threading a needle in a chicane. Here's another one. Right and left, and you can gain or lose a lot of time depending on how you take these chicanes. Heading now down towards the famous hairpin at the east end of the island. Downshifting. Brakes are obviously going to be very taxed in this section in particular, but all over the circuit. Now accelerating out of the hairpin. Heading past the old pits, and now there's a sweep to the right and back to the left very fast, which is probably one of the more perilous spots on the track. And now back right, left into the start-finish area, and that is one lap of Ile Notre Dame Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
And one thing that becomes very evident also now is that the track is quite narrow. Be it because it's in the Iceland and there was not enough real estate to really make a wide track, or because they wanted to make it like that. But it's a track that is going to give a lot of headache when it comes to lapping and to overtaking. It's not that the layout of the track itself is not good for overtaking, because when you have so many chicanes and slow down areas, it's always good for the overtaking maneuver. But the big problem is it's very narrow and you arrive there very fast. So drivers will need to have a very good rhythm and time it very well if they want to dispense with traffic. And that's something that could later in the race lead to some nasty surprises for some people, because we could easily see that leaders who have a good advantage see it sometimes erased completely because of having to go through a slow chicane behind one of the Labatt cars. That's something that we will need to pay a lot of attention to, because those gaps in the race are not going to mean anything if you don't time it well in traffic.
All right, well, we're going to take our customary commercial break right now and then come back for some final comments before the start of the race. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away.
Radio Shack understands that a computer purchase is a serious personal and business decision. But what's really important is the company behind the computer. At Radio Shack, when you buy a computer, you buy a company. A company committed to technology, service, and support. We'll be here when you need us, with a telephone hotline, training, education, and excellent service. Tandy Computers, in business, for business. Tandy, clearly superior.
There's only one Formula One Grand Prix race run in this country. This year, the car that won it was powered by Renault. I mention this because we've just brought some of that competitive thinking to the street. Renault GTA. I consider it another Renault victory.
Nissan shapes the hard bodies.
Nissan King cabs are built bigger. Nissan King cabs are built smarter. Nissan King cabs are built wider.
This King cab is Nissan's roomiest ever, with more lockable storage space and new fold-down jump seats that hide away.
Fuel injected hard bodies. You need a hard body.
Hurry, get 6.7 factory-sponsored truck financing on any new Nissan truck.
Watching is believing. Look into the mirror and watch Ford Escort swept away by the benefits of Renault. Shoppers who compared found Renault Encore's power and pickup superior. More room inside. They preferred Encore's European style. Upon reflection, 79 of 100 shoppers surveyed found Renault superior overall to Escort, with 550 plus America's best small car protection. Escort owners,
You weren't watching.
I was watching.
The one to watch.
Renault.
Expressway to your heart. Expressway to your heart.
Dodge Daytona Turbo Z. It'll be an
Expressway to your heart.
Get real American values with up to $1,000 back on most 86 American-made Dodge cars.
Since the title Gasoline Fuel Economy Champion was first awarded, one manufacturer has dominated the competition, winning a remarkable 8 out of 13 times. Presenting the Honda Civic CRX HF, one of the best in its field, again.
Nissan shapes the hard bodies.
Nissan King cabs are built bigger. Nissan King cabs are built smarter. Nissan King cabs are built wider.
This King cab is Nissan's roomiest ever, with more lockable storage space and new fold-down jump seats that hide away.
Fuel injected hard bodies. You need a hard body.
Hurry, get 6.7 factory-sponsored truck financing on any new Nissan truck.
This is a beer that's everything a fine imported beer ought to be. It's brewed with all natural ingredients, the way fine imported beers are brewed. Bottled in tall green glass, the way fine imported beers are bottled. This is Rolling Rock Premium Beer, brewed by the Latrobe Brewing Company and imported in bottles and cans from Latrobe, PA.
Good morning, class. Cocology. The study of good taste. In fact, the taste that stands the test.
Yes.
The test where new Coke takes on Pepsi, i.e.
That's as in?
the new Coke Pop Quiz. Cocologist dismissed. All others pay attention.
When Coke did take on Pepsi in nationwide tests, more people chose Coke over Pepsi. Prove it to yourself. You'll see why more people are choosing the taste of Coke. Catch the wave. Coke.
There came a moment when all the elements came together, unleashing a superbly equipped new breed of compact car, the Dodge Shadow, with 2 or 4-door availability, affordable price, a $550 protection plan. The new Dodge Shadow is going to cast a giant shadow across America. Dodge setting new standards of performance.
Now at Renault and Jeep dealers, new low factory financing on most new Renault models. 7.5% on Renault Alliance convertibles and sedans, on Renault Encore hatchbacks. Or get a check from the factory for up to $700 and get 7.9% financing on the all-new 2-wheel drive Jeep Comanche. Save up to $1,384. Don't miss this limited time offer. See your Renault and Jeep dealer today.
And we are back. So, before we go through what's coming up at ISO, Ryan, why don't you take us through some of the car changes that have happened since Spa?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the car changes, the updates that have been provided, cheers, thanks to Richard Coxon, by the way. First off, the Benetton team have got a revised position of the injectors to improve the fuel economy, and I think around Canada that could prove vital. And then looking at the updates for the Williams team, they've fitted a new oval upper rear wishbone parts, or basically wishbones if you like, in the interest of improved aerodynamics. And again, I think around Canada or Montreal that could be beneficial. And then looking at the Ligier team, the cars have had new smaller water radiators to save weight, so I'm interested about that update, but I wonder if it'll pay off tonight. And then the Tyrrell team, they're planning to race the old 014 here due to Streif writing off his 015 chassis, so a bit of they're on the back foot there, if you like. And then looking at the Lotus team, Lotus returned to the 1986 rear spec suspension with the hydraulic tracks on top of the suspension mount, so I think that could be a crucial update around here as well, just because of the nature of the track and the corners, and sometimes just the nature of the track, like I say. McLaren come here with the Porsche and introduced the new fuel feed system for the TAG engine for better fuel mileage. And then looking at Brabham, the cars had new front suspension with narrow or angle wishbones, and then Ferrari come here with Garrett turbos that were used for qualifying too, but only raced at they only used that in the race at Spa. The Ferrari has also had improvements to the underbody, so hopefully that'll help them massively when it comes to aerodynamic downforce. And then lastly, looking at the Haas team, the team has only added small deflectors on the inner face of the rear wing side plates, so nothing major for them, but hopefully that will help them make a small step up through the field.
Yeah, that's one thing that's neat about the racing that we do here is that we make an effort to update the cars as the series goes along. There aren't a lot of mods that do that to the level that we would like to as a league, and in many cases the cars are just like inert blocks of wood. They don't change over the year, and we all know that that's not the case in real life, not just in this series but in many series. So that's part of the dimension of this F186 championship, is that the cars evolve as they did in the 1986 championship, as best as we can imitate them. So real quickly, let's take a look at what's coming up at ISO. There's a lot of really good stuff on the horizon. One thing that I'm very much, well, more than one, but this is something I'm really looking forward to. We're, of course, in Montreal, and while we're on the this side of the pond, it makes perfect sense to do the next North American round after that. But first, let's talk about the Molson Diamond Indy, which is coming up next Sunday. This is the first road course race for the Indy cars, 1978 spec Indy cars. And Alberto, I think it's fair to say that this is a race that generates trepidation for some of us.
It certainly does, because some of us are dedicated oval racers, and facing here, having to corner to the left and to the right is not going to be the most comfortable situation. I know you have been practicing lately a lot in other series, in other races, to be able to do road course, and I know that it was basically meant to be good here, because this is where it counts. I mean, there are races that also count for the championship in the USAC series, and yeah, I mean, we're going road racing. Finally, after so many years of doing the 73, 74 seasons, in 78 there was road racing actually in USAC, and we're going to replicate it, of course. We're not going very far from where we are today. We're going to Mosport, and it's an absolutely beautiful track. I love it, and I mean, I can understand that the Formula One stood away from it because of safety concerns at some point when the cars got too quick. But man, is this a scenic and beautiful venue, and we're going to have a lot of fun with the IndyCars around it.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how many times Jonathan says "Oh dearie me" in his broadcast. But yeah, that should be a good one. That's next week for the IndyCars, and that is, of course, the last race before we go to Indy. But then following that, and this is the race that I've been looking forward to broadcasting for over a year, the Detroit Grand Prix, my home race in my own backyard. I was actually downtown the other day taking in the scenic riverfront, and was standing right in front of the Renaissance Center. So this is very much home for me, and I'm looking forward to showcasing my hometown for everybody on YouTube and in the ISO community. We'll try not to get too anorak about it, as those of the British persuasion would say, but it should be an exciting race, and not quite as glamorous as Monaco maybe, but a lot of the same skill sets will transfer over to Detroit, I'm sure.
Yes, for sure. It's going to be a very interesting race, and well, we'll talk a lot in detail about the track. And you and me still have got one tour lap around the track in one of the pace cars, because you must show us all the peculiarities of the track, because I know you have worked a lot in recreating with high fidelity at least the most important buildings that are down there.
Yeah, I can show you where all my favorite hot spots are and stuff like that, but at least the ones that are within shouting distance of the track. But yeah, that's coming up on May 2nd, and then, as if that's not exciting enough, we go straight into our crown jewel of the year here at ISO. The month of May begins in earnest. The Indianapolis 500 time trials, qualifying for round 7 of 18 of the 1978 USAC Series, Sunday, May 9th. There will be bumpage, we hope.
We hope.
Yes.
And it's also, need to say, a Lucas Vidra Trophy race.
That's true, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, it's a Lucas Vidra Trophy race, so points there, if you're not in the series, also count towards that. So keep in mind that, and of course, the very next week after the qualifying, it's the Indianapolis 500-mile race. You'll have to check the forum schedule for that, because we sometimes start a bit earlier than normal because it's a 500-miler. I'm sure we'll have discussions about that offline, but that's a look at what's coming up in the open wheel races that we run here at ISO. But don't forget, we also have a sports car series going on. Looking a bit further down the road, May 23rd, we go to Diepholz for the third round of the very brief DRM Series 1984 edition, the ADAC Flugplatzrennen Diepholz.
It is, yes, again, one of the German airport tracks.
Yeah.
There were many of them. Like the British, the Germans like to start racing in the airports. The thing is that the British moved away from that and did permanent circuits, but the Germans seemed to keep the flavor of it and kept rising in the in the airports.
Mm-hmm. All right, so as you can hear, drivers are getting ready for the race session, driving around on full tanks. So why don't we talk about our predictions for this race? I'll start with Ryan. Ryan, who do you think has the inside track here as far as being able to win at Ile Notre Dame?
I think I'm going to go for David Jakes, not just because he's Canadian, but he just seems to be. I think he's just got that dark horse feeling about him. He's just someone that you can't rule out of winning a race.
Actually, here is David Jakes right now following one of the Ligiers. I believe that's Ray Riddall, yes. Yeah, I definitely would put Jakes high in my list, but I want to hear what Alberto has to say first before I give my vote.
Well, I think at this point it would be good to say, since my keys to the race are fuel, walls, and traffic, because the fuel is very decisive. I know that people are running here very careful because the fuel is going to be a big problem. We know, and we have talked about the walls being very unforgiving here, and the traffic also being, well, something quite complicated at some point. I think, very much as Ryan said, I'm going to go with a very, very dark horse, because I'm going to bet on a guy that has prepared this race immensely. I mean, he has been doing a lot of training laps and is going to be doing his out best, and his talent is out of the question. And that's Vadim Tasiak in one of the Tyrrells. So why not? I mean, it's a wild pick. But if there is some rewarding for the preparation, I think he should be there at the top at the end.
All right, that is very much a dark horse selection. I'm not entirely certain. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that today Grant Riddall is going to finally come good in this series. He's had one second place finish so far, I believe, and the turbocharged nature of his Renault has given him the horsepower he needs to lead in many races. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's in a good spot here to win today.
Well, betting for Grant Riddall, I think, is always somehow a safe bet. But remember that in this race he had some kind of injury. He has been having some trouble over the week.
Oh,
and
that's right.
And that gives me the opportunity to also remind and give regards from here to a driver that we wish a very speedy recovery, because we're going to miss him on the race. And that's Cesarius Lapinski, who has been injured over the week. And, well, so much for realism. I mean, he's going to miss a race due to a real-life injury in his right arm. And Cesarius, we wish you all the best, and hopefully you are very soon here racing with us, at least in Mosport.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. And yeah, you're quite right. I had forgotten that Grant had an injury himself recently, but there's also something to be said for when you're not at 100%, you drive that much better. I mean, there's a lot of documented cases of drivers who had the flu or who were ill or who were recovering from a previous wreck, actually suddenly just putting on an incredible performance. So who knows? Maybe Grant will dig deep and give us a performance
well,
of that
sometimes
kind.
what happens is that you're trying too hard, but then when you are injured and you're actually backing up a bit, you find yourself in a situation where you're actually having better chances on the long term.
Perhaps, yeah. You mentioned your keys to the race, Alberto. Why don't you run through those? I apologize. I should have had you talk about those earlier.
No, it's okay. So I said, well, I already mentioned them. We're going to repeat them. But first of all, and I've heard this from several drivers, fuel is very important here. That's going to put a big handicap, especially on the Renault engine cars, because they have a bit more drag and they are going to suffer a lot. They need to learn a bit the coasting technique to be able to save fuel without really losing a lot of lap time. The second is the walls. You need to be, as we have mentioned already, very careful with the walls. I mean, any error, any outing of the track that ends with you bruising a wall is going to mean probably retirement. And then tires are not going to play much of a role here. I mean, probably all the drivers are going to go with a single pick through the whole race. We're going to see that because we have today a special camera dedicated to showcasing the tires. But traffic, that's something completely different. traffic in the wrong part can be disastrous. We're going to be very, very watchful on what happens when the leader is coming to lap traffic, especially in that area that you, Jason, showed us where there is several chicanes after the main start-finish straight. Because if you find their lap traffic, and we have seen that already in qualifying, it can be terrible to the lap times of the driver with this narrow track and the inability to really go through the traffic wheel properly. It's going to be very complicated for some drivers. No, it was Coxon's idea. I was the executor, basically. That's true. We're an interactive broadcast.
Yeah, I think it is just because there's not really anywhere for you to relax. It's not like say Silverstone, for example. You've got some straights to relax for a few moments, but Montreal, you're basically having to concentrate so much, and I think that's going to take a toll on some of these drivers when it comes to fatigue, like you mentioned. So it's something to think about, and I think some drivers, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them have got something like say like cups of water next to them to keep them hydrated when it comes to pit stops.
It is, yes. Yeah. And in that line, I should also say that this is a track that rewards very much attacking it. I mean, if you are really attacking it and bringing it to the absolute limit of what you can get away with, you are very much quicker. Because on the straights, everybody's quick. It's just a matter of accelerating, isn't it? But when you're on the chicanes, if you are the one who is able to put that extra centimeter of the wheel on the curb or whatever, that's what gives you the edge in this track. And it's a risky proposition always. Mm. That's true. You're going to eat his rear. Yes, they are going to lower the grid, and then we're going to the race session. Yes. Wasn't that when he got the ride back to the pits on on the sideboard of another car? It was, yes. Yeah, it does in the game, but that's because that's what gives you the package that you need to race, which means the detuned engine that will last the whole race, and also the normal, ordinary components for the race. Oh, yeah. That was because of the tires, and that's when we went from the silly to the not so silly power figures. I remember, and we didn't ask Mario about that in our interview, but I remember him telling that in a different interview that I saw him, that racing those cars was for him such a hike, because you went there on an engine that would last only for 5-6 laps maybe at most. You were already on the verge of killing it when you were in Indianapolis, and he said it was such an amazing amount of power you wouldn't believe it. And if Mario says that, a guy that has driven such cars, I mean, cars with more than 1,000 power, you gotta believe it must have been incredible.
My volume had dropped out there for a second. Thank you to Barry Lynn for alerting me to that. We are now all set. Good thing that we got that sorted before we go on the parade lap. Is here we go. On the pole is Richard Wilkes in the John Player Team Lotus entry. In second, Grant Riddall, Equipe Ligier. Third, David Jakes, Benetton Formula. Fourth, Tim Hilla, John Player Special Team Lotus. 5th, Anders Nilsson, Scuderia Ferrari. 6th, Adam Hackman, Ken Williams Honda team. 7th, Vadim Tasiak. In the Data General Team Tyrrell, your pick for the race, Alberto.
Indeed.
8th, Juha Boss, Marlboro McLaren International. 9th, David Saber in the Data General Team Tyrrell entry, the second one. 10th is Ray Radal, the other Equipe Ligier entry. 11th, Gabriel Del Piccolo, Benetton Formula. 12th, Richard Coxon, Scuderia Ferrari. 13th, Brian Janik, Motor Racing Developments. Note the helmet change there. Different driver at this point. 14th is Dave Miller. That's a bit low in the grid than I would expect from Dave. Ken and Williams Honda team. 15th, Jules Bouchard, Team Haas USA. 16th, and that's bizarre, John Team. His car is doing some very weird things right now. I don't know what that is about. 17th is Ruben Fernandez, Jolly Club AGS. 18th, Bruno Chacon, Marlboro McLaren International. 19th, K.O. McKeels, Motor Racing Developments. 20th, Mike Olson, Acela Squadra Corse. 21st, Bruno Paggiola in the Minardi team car, number 24. 22nd, Francois Remen, Barclay Arrows BMW. 23rd, Johnny Aces in the West Zach Speed Racing entry number 29. 24th, Luciano Rosa, West Zach Speed Racing. 25th is Tomas Matusik in the other Minardi team car. And rounding out the field, 26th is Mikael Drexler in the other Acela.
And a quick note about the tires, as we have been able to see. All the top cars are going on the softs, except the Williams, who is on the mediums, very interestingly, in the case of Adam Hackman. And also Juha Boss, impersonating Alain Prost, is going with softs on the rear, but mediums on the front, which seems to indicate that his car has some understeer problems here with this configuration. The other surprise of the day, both Ferraris on super softs. Also, the same goes for Vadim Tasiak. Let's see how they last towards the end of the first stint, which should be at around lap 34, 35.
All right, so the cars are filing onto the grid right now. This is going to be an exciting start. The first two turns, very critical. Grant Riddall, you can see he's positioned his car slightly. Okay, we've got the starters' orders now. Stand by for the start of the Canadian Grand Prix. And the race is underway! Looking to make sure all the cars get away okay as they're getting off the grid. Seems to be okay so far. Heading down into the first turn, Grant Riddall is ahead of Richard Wilkes.
Whoops,
and
one car in the sand.
Yeah, we got one car off in the sand. It's Brian Janik, and it appears that everybody is getting through the first two corners okay, without much trouble. Excellent. No retirements so far. Grant Riddall leads. Richard Wilkes is in second. And Anders Nilsson is in third place. So, excellent start for the Ferrari team. The Tifosi will be happy about that.
Hey, Rich again at the back of the grid.
Yep.
David Junt is out of the race.
Well, Junt did not start the race because he was 27th and did not make the grid.
Oh.
So, that is why. So, here's Grant Riddall now heading down towards, he's my pick, by the way. So, we'll see what happens here. And he is driving with an injury, so keep that in mind. Maybe he'll give us some Danny Sullivan magic. Danny Sullivan drove with a broken arm for a lot of the 1989 series in IndyCar racing. But you can see here, the first opportunity some people have to overtake. There's a battle going on between the Williams cars. And whatever bizarre situation was going on with one of the Lolas seems to have corrected itself. But here we go, coming down to complete lap number 1. The race is, of course, underway, and here comes Grant Riddall leading lap number 1. Wilkes is in second, Nilsson third as we look down from the chopper shot. And definitely Nilsson is looking very racy behind Richard Wilkes. Not going to give him any rest. Oh my goodness, very close indeed. As they head into the first of the chicanes. That's another driver that I would think would be a good pick to win this race, would be Nilsson.
Yeah, it could be. Hackman has dropped a lot of positions in this start. He's now 12th. He has been overtaken by Dave Miller, who is now in 10th position, I believe. Yes. Lots of position trading there at the back of the grid at the beginning. Brian Janik again in the grass, jumping one of the
Oh,
chicanes.
there's John Team's car doing those weird acrobatics again. I don't know what that's about. But in any case, yeah, it looks like the cars are spreading out a bit now, and that's really good to see that we were able to get the race started without too much trouble.
Well, and one very peculiar thing, Gabriele Del Piccolo is 25th. Something must have gone... Oh, he was in the pit some moments ago.
Oh, so he must have some damage.
Yeah, he did that, or maybe, I don't know, maybe the game told him to do a stop and go, I don't know. So anyway, Riddle leading, then there's Wilkes, 2 Renault engines, then comes Anders Nilsson.
Nilsson's starting to struggle to hold on a little bit. Ryan, do you believe that, I know we talked about the Renaults earlier, but definitely they're a car to favor on this track because of their turbocharger. What would be the strategy for a team like Ferrari to cope with that?
I think at the moment, I think if I was Nielsen, if I was Nielsen and sitting behind Wilkes, I would just maybe stay where he is at the moment and just see how it pans out. See if Wilkes starts dropping off, and if Wilkes starts dropping off with regards to tyres, for example, I think if Nielsen then needs to try and get by, if he wants to try and stand a chance of winning this race. But at the moment, I think he doesn't look like he doesn't seem to be over eager to get by Wilkes at the moment.
Heading into the hairpin once again, Juha has had a really good start and is doing well. Coxon at the back of Tim Hilla, your podcast partner. And look at this really tight battle here going on behind Vadim Tasiak. Ruben Fernandez looking to overtake David Saber. Can't get it done at the hairpin.
Amazing performance in the AGS in any case.
Yes, and he did have a big performance in that car at Spa, and it just didn't come together in the end. Or am I thinking of Monaco? Can't remember. But in any case, yeah, the battle rages on here between Nilsson and Wilkes, and Jake's Ryan's pick to win the race is in 4th place right now. Juha, I'm sure, is really happy to get off the line well in this car, but interesting, Tim Hilla being stalked by Richard Coxon, so this could end up being a very good day for Ferrari. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Hilla taking kind of a protective line there, but you can see that they're closing in on Juha just ahead. Coxon trying to get the power down and get a good exit, but you can see that the boost on that Renault is really, it's doing a good job keeping him ahead of Richard Coxon. Tim Hilla, that is.
Yeah, the question is how long will he be able to keep that, considering the fuel consumption situation? Because I think the Ferraris are much better for conserving that. That is the case on the Renault engines here. Now
Yeah.
John Team is forcing his way past Vadim Tasiak, trying to follow Dave Miller.
Yeah, John Team running on 2 wheels instead of 4.
Yeah,
most
it's
of
a
the way.
bit of a, I don't know, it's a bit of a Knight Rider situation. I'm not sure why the car is looking like that. Must be some kind of weird, strange game glitch.
It's pretending to be the Mustang from from Diamonds Are Forever, but not going through a. This is rather comedic, actually, I have to say.
Nilsson now putting some pressure on Richard Wilkes. So he seems to have run out of patience. But it's not because Grant Riddle is getting away, because that isn't certainly the case. Grant Riddle is not getting away by any stretch of the imagination. Riddle is actually being caught by Wilkes, so that means that he has been scared to death by the fuel consumption in the few laps where he has been stretching it.
Well, that speaks to what you were just saying. Yeah, I think it's a situation of, you know, he used the boost to establish himself early on, and probably Wilkes has as well, but they're not going to be able to do that the whole race, that's for sure. And we've seen how, in the case of both of these gentlemen, how early race strategy has proved to be very wrong later on in the race.
Yeah, and remember, the tighter the fuel, the more benefit that the McLaren gets.
Yes, that's true. But I'll I'll bet even if he has to back off the boost a little bit, I think Grant is in a very good situation because Wilkes has got to have 360-degree vision right now. He's trying to stalk the leader, but he's also got Nilsson right behind him.
I think that all these guys are right now fighting more the fuel gauge than the guy around them.
That's probably true.
I don't think that they are really that much concerned about track situation or whatever. They are basically just trying to get their own rhythm and not be disturbed by anyone, because remember, if you got fuel concerns...
There goes Nilsson looking up the inside. Is he going to get by? No! Just can't get it done. Sorry, go ahead, Alberto.
No, because remember, if you have got fuel concerns, then what you are really looking after is doing your laps as cleanly as possible, because that's what gives you the fuel consumption that you can target.
Mm-hmm. And you can see that a lot of how you can do on this track, how well you do, is how quickly you can get the power down on exit. Some people are having a good time doing that. Team, of course, has got an advantage there because he's only on 2 tires. So let's
yes, because remember, if you go out of a turn with, let's say, half a throttle and no wheel spin, you might be as quick as someone who is 3/4 of the throttle on, but with wheel spin. The difference is that you're using way less fuel than the other guy.
All right, it looks like Nilsson might have a run here. He's having to lift a little bit going through that sweeping set of turns there. Through the very quick left-right. Or right-left.
On the grass.
Yeah, he was on the grass briefly there, that's true. So that will have slowed him down, but he can't do that too much here. He looks like he's getting into the corners deeper than Wilkes. Am I seeing that correctly, Ryan, or do you think that's... Because, look, here he is again looking at him. He seems to be very quick through this section.
Yeah, Nilsson seems to get a good exit on the exit of turn 2, but it's just a case of he's not close enough to get the move done. But at the moment, he's absolutely harassing Richard Wilkes, but also closing on these guys as well. And this battle is David Jakes getting closer and closer.
Yeah,
look at Jake's fishtailing there out of that corner, so his car is running pretty loose right now, and that could prove to be a problem exiting corners here. But I don't think he really wants to engage in this battle with Nilsson and Wilkes right now. It's probably more advantageous for him to sit and look for an opening when the two of them go for it at some point. But he doesn't want to wait too long, because then Grant's going to get too far away. Oh, look at this. Nilsson might have a chance here. He's getting closer and closer. No, it's that boost of the Renault. He just can't seem to get there, but look at how much speed they're carrying through that last chicane. Nilsson has a shot here, I believe, as they come down to the first turn. Is he going to duck in the inside? Yes, he does. Nilsson takes second place away from Richard Wilkes. A very clean pass. And now Wilkes has got to worry about David Jakes, who's on the attack, coming up the inside. Oh my goodness, that was very close, gentlemen. Jakes now having another look at Wilkes. I mean, this is Wilkes possibly looking at losing 2 positions in a row here in one lap.
And one thing I can tell you already from watching from the cockpit view.
Oh, there he goes!
Grant Ridal is using about 1,000 to 500 RPM less than Anders Nilsson.
Wow.
Which means he's on a very, very fuel economy gearing ratio, and he's making up all the time by absolutely attacking the corners. So that's going to play a role later, because I would think, Ryan, that this will have an effect on the tire wear.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Grant just attacking the corners and throwing the car into the corners, but pretty much trying to go as quick as possible. It's all well and good trying that, but there's only so many times you can do that, and then the tyres just start hitting or falling off the cliff rather, and basically you're fighting a losing battle. But as they're closing up to a back marker now, heading down to turn 1, Nilsson is definitely getting closer to Ridal.
Yeah, he is.
We talked about that previously. that the traffic can play a big part. And look at that. I mean, a good part of the lead of Ryan Pradil has just vanished.
Yeah, but Drexler did a good job of getting out of the way there, and
Yeah, but even so, I mean, it's very complicated because you are on a very different rhythm to the cars that have less downforce than you.
Yeah, so Nilsson now looking to close in on our leader, Grant Riddall. And we're probably expecting one stop in this race. I would venture to say that how well those stops go might end up determining who wins this race.
Oh, it could very well be.
Yeah, because there is that random element in there, but outlaps and the overlap strategy, I mean, definitely is going to come into play later, I think. Looking down from the chopper here.
And I can see that Jakes is also using very much the same style of gearbox and setup than Grant is using, because his RPM counter, it doesn't seem to move from, it's all the time between 9 and 10. That's a complicated thing, by the way, we should mention, to keep our viewers very much in the loop of what's going on. The BMW engine is very powerful, but the downside of it is that there is a very thin, very thin power band, which means you have to be completely flooring it and always high.
Oh my goodness. Oh, no. We've got an accident between Cox and, oh my goodness, and Juha Boss, and it almost collected Tim Hille as well. Oh my goodness. Let's look at a replay of this. This is a Coxon coming up along the inside of Juha Boss, and apparently, there was a collision there. Oh my goodness. Coxon had that corner, but Boss turned in, and I don't know whether he just missed him or what. But then, oh my goodness, there's further contact behind this group. That's Adam Hackman running into the back. So 3 cars involved here. This is a disaster. And Coxon looks to be the one that got away with the most there. He's in 6th place, but yes, Juha's lost his wing, and a wing has been lost by Adam as well. So, my goodness, what a disastrous corner for a couple of teams.
Yeah, it is
there.
for some of the favorites of the race, and it's a shame, because I think that Juha was not expecting Coxon to overtake. Coxon had absolutely the position, that's for sure, but Juha had not expected that move, and he went into the corner as if nobody was there.
Yeah, so 2 cars due in the pits for sure. Meanwhile, Nilsson has closed right up to the back wing of Grant Riddall, so we could be seeing a pass for the lead here in a second. We'll see what happens. You've already mentioned that Grant has been driving to fuel numbers, but they've got cars that are coming up here to be lapped, and that may figure in as well. Yeah, we've got Luciano Rocha just ahead here.
Very complicated situation for Luciano now.
Yeah, no question. Okay, he moves over, and he's going to let all 3 of them by here, I think, in one
look
swoop.
At Jakes,
yeah.
Look at Jakes now.
Oh, David Jakes going up the inside. Is he going to overtake Nilsson? Yes, he is. Jakes goes
very
up into 2nd place.
By Jakes there.
Very clean pass,
very
well
much
executed.
The guy schooled in the ovals.
Yes, and this is going to be a good situation now for Grant. It gives him a little bit of breathing room, but not much.
Juha Boss enters the pits now, but I think that car is completely crippled. I don't think the repairs are going to be enough to put him back into contention, unfortunately.
Well, that's too bad.
There's another car in the pits, and Miller is out of the race, and David Sabre is also in the pits for repairs.
I must have misidentified the Williams then, because it was Miller. It must have been Miller that got into that accident. Jake's now challenging for the lead, but no, he's not. He doesn't have enough room there. But man, he's really sliding that Benetton around, and now Nilsson looks like he's going to try to counterattack here. But then you've got Mike Olsen on the inside, so this is a very complicated situation, as you said.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, with Matusek there in the way, for Grant Riddall, this is a big problem, because look at that. I mean, he cannot make the chicane in his normal speed. And poor Matusek is doing a great job of moving out of the way, but it's so complicated in this situation. He finally slotted in between Nilsson and Jakes, and that's going to hurt big time Jakes. It's the situation we've talked about before the start of the race.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, as a driver who's being lapped in situations like this, I mean, you cannot vaporize and let people by. And this, there's a lot of these corners are basically one groove corners. What is the? I mean, are there some situations where you just can't prepare for them as a car that's being lapped, or you just take it as it comes? I mean, inevitably you're going to get in somebody's way, I would think.
I think the best thing to do when you're being lapped, especially around a track such as Montreal, with it being so tight in some places, is kind of, if you can't get out of the way, don't panic, just stick to your line, and when it's safe to do so, just let the leaders by. For example, down at the hairpin, just go a little bit wide and leave them some room, and then let them just go up the inside. But some parts of this track, it's so difficult to let them by, but the top three coming across the line now, they're so close together.
Yeah, you can throw a blanket over them. Here's Jake's. Oh my goodness, he is.
After all this situation, the order was the same as before. So
yeah. And here comes Nilsson on the inside. He thinks I'm going to take advantage of this. And look, you just saw Jake's have a very squirrely exit from turn 2. I mentioned before, his car looks very loose. So that could play a problem of getting the power down in some corners. And I think Nilsson definitely sees that he's having issues there. So he thinks that's probably my best bet to get by.
Well, I'll tell you what's happening. Jakes is basically short shifting all the time, so he needs a very oversteady car to be able to make it run the corners without the power.
Mm-hmm.
It's a strategy of setup that allows him to go very quick without really using all the power. It's very much as Grant Ridal is doing. He needs to attack the corners. He needs to be very quick at the apex of the corner as compared with the other cars, because he's going to exit at a bigger speed and then basically gamble on everything being able to on everything being on the engine being able to catch up that speed again.
Looks like the cars are spreading out just a tiny bit here, but this is a fantastic scrap between 3 of the very best drivers we have here at ISO. Jake's right up underneath Grant Ridal's rear wing again, but I don't think he can make a stab at him this time.
And I should mention, this is the honorary mention, Ruben Fernandez hanging on there in 9th position in the AGS. Very amazing. He even overtook Grant Ridal.
Yeah, Ruben had an excellent outing. It was Spa. Now I remember, did an excellent job in the AGS. Should have finished that race, but unfortunately had an issue towards the end. But this proves that race was not a fluke. He's driving well, and frankly, he did pretty good in the USAC race about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So, racecraft of Ruben is
David
starting
Jakes,
to really show.
That's really gambling it.
Oh my goodness!
So close to Brian Ridal's rear wing. This could have very easily gone wrong. I mean, you need to be able to pick up your fights. Because,
oh man!
Yes,
look
you
out!
need to really
Look out!
trust
Look
the
out!
other guy to do that.
This is scary because all it's going to take is a slight miscommunication by Grant. And if you're in Anders' cockpit, Ryan, you're probably thinking to yourself, I'm just going to wait for these two to take each other out as David Jakes goes into the lead. That was a rather easy pass. I'm not sure what happened there. What do you guys think?
He basically cracked up the boost.
Yeah.
To make it through.
So
and
now,
remember another situation, as you mentioned, missing a shift.
Oh my goodness! And Grant
no,
pulls
this time it was voluntary. Grant basically thought, I'm not on the rhythm of these guys. I'd rather be following them.
So the Canadian crowd will be loving this. David Jakes goes into the lead in the Canadian Grand Prix. Ryan, how much of that do you think is on his mind right now, or does he even care?
I don't think he'll be taking note of it too much. I think he's probably he's in that mindset, just doing his thing at the moment, and just doing what he needs to do, but then slowly pulling away from Nielsen at the moment. There's a car.
Oh, there's a car into the wall back there. It appears to be Bruno Paggiola. Oh, who then drives across the track and into the other side of the wall. So he's got some damage there that he's going to have to take care of. But in any case, yeah, Jake's pulling away now from Nilsson. Grant is solidly in 3rd. Wilkes is 4th. Tim Hilla in the other Lotus is 5th. Coxon is 6th. Coxon is lucky to be there, quite frankly. The acrobatic stunt car of John Team is in 7th place. Eighth place is Ruben Fernandez. It's too bad that John Team doesn't have the option to only change left side tires, or does he, on his Haas entry, because it would save him some time in the pits. He's not even using them. Well, he seems to be using them now.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Cannonball Run movie films. Remember? In the first one, there was the guy that did with the motorbike a wheelie from coast to coast.
And here's Ruben Fernandez up to 8th now. He's just overtaken Luciano Rocha. So we could be looking at a points finish for AGS, dare I say it, because he's looking really racy right now. And meanwhile, Ray Radal also moving up to 9th place now. So, and Vadim Tesiak is 10th. So it looks like Jules Bouchard is, oh my goodness, he almost moved over an Adam Hackman there. That's not, no, be careful, guys. Good grief. I don't think Adam's going to be sending him a Christmas card anytime soon, because he definitely was looking to get by there, and basically the door was closed on him rather late there. But I don't know, I almost get the sense that something might be wrong with Jules's car, apart from the graphic glitch that we've been witnessing. But look at this group of cars back here. This is really close quarters driving. We're looking from Del Piccolo's car now, who's in 14th. It's a train of cars here. Janik's in this group as well. Oh, looking ahead there. Adam trying to get through again, but Bouchard shuts the door once again.
And I should say that Juha Boss has been able to make successfully repairs and is back in the race in 24th position, although I suspect that this is going to be one of the results that he will be dropping towards the end of the season.
I would think so, yes.
Overtaking now Del Piccolo, who isn't shining really much in this race.
Oh, I was mistaking Bouchard's car for John Teams. John Teams is the one that has a part.
Teams is on 2 wheels.
Yeah, Teams is the one that has a part-time job at the state or county fair, doing stunt stuff. Yeah, there we go. So Coxon, you got to wonder if he's running with any kind of damage on his car after that altercation with Juha.
Could
and
be the case, yes.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, it's pretty amazing that he's still in the points.
Although the steering wheel seems to be quite straight when he's going straight line, so
yeah,
maybe there is. I mean, there must be some damage. I'm sure the hood is indicating something. But then again, Coxon is one of the talented drivers that can drive around any damage in the car if it's not really severe.
All right, back at the start-finish line now. Starting lap number 18 out of 69. David Jakes leads. Anders Nilsson is in second. Grant Radal is third. Richard Wilkes fourth. Tim Hilla fifth. Richard Coxon, as we mentioned, maybe nursing damage in that car, is sixth. John Team is seventh, running on 2 wheels, which is rather hilarious. Eighth is Ruben Fernandez. Ninth, Ray Radal. And 10th is Vadim Tesiak.
Oh, and David Sabre had a spin in the hairpin. Fortunately able to recover quick enough.
Yeah, the Tyrrell team really isn't asserting themselves today like we thought they might be. I don't know. Coxon, despite the situation he had earlier, definitely looks like he's ready to challenge. Looks like he's ready to challenge Tim Hilla.
Yeah, I would think that this car, Coxon's car, is moving a bit more on the braking and in the turns than it was doing before. Maybe that's where the damage is appearing. But still, he seems to have the pace to challenge Hille. Although we know the Ferrari engine is better at fuel consumption in these situations than the Renault.
Tim Hilla locking the tires there. Ryan, based on the what we saw in the notes before the race, when do you think we can see the first pit stops?
I think first pit stops I would probably guess roundabout. excuse me, roundabout maybe lap between lap 25 and 30.
and then the tires that you subsequently put on will last longer because you have less fuel weight.
Yep, absolutely. I'm just looking back at the battle with Piccolo as well, and it's still going on at the moment. And they're pretty much there's nothing to split them.
Oh yeah,
It's interesting to see how quick Jakes is going. He's opening a gap now with Nilsson, and well, really impressive to see what he's able to do out of the BMW engine, even if short shifting it, because he's short shifting it very clearly.
And we're looking back now from Jules Bouchard at a very fast and furious battle between Hackman and Boss. Or actually, no, I'm sorry, Juha is many laps behind this group. But Hackman for sure is pursuing Jules Bouchard. And Juha has the awkward situation of being caught in between Adam Hackman and Del Piccolo, who are racing for position.
And Wilkes is getting closer now to Grant Ridal.
Oh, Hackman going for it now, down the inside.
There's a wing there. Oh, whoa. Mike Olson, big spin on the main straight, hitting the barriers. Fortunately, Wilkes and Grant Ridal were able to get by safely, but Wilkes is already on Grant Ridal's toes. So there's a Renault duel for you that it's also for the last position in the podium.
Heavy impact with the wall, yes, for Mike Olson, and that car is definitely done, unfortunately. Oh my goodness, more craziness going on apparently. I think it was Saber who was having an issue there, but he appears to be okay.
Del Piccolo just overtook in a very swift maneuver Jules Bouchard.
And we have our first pit stop of the day. Vadim Tasiak is in the pits.
Yeah, he started on super soft, so this is no surprise.
Yeah, he's staying on the D tires. Oh no, he's out of the race. He my goodness.
Oh.
Well, there goes that. Yeah, Del Piccolo up to 11th now and is now stalking Adam Hackman. Yeah, John Team in 7th place. Coxon soldiering on in 6th. There's a wing out there which is doing some pretty peculiar things. I think that's a leftover from Mike Olson's car.
And one very interesting thing, David Jakes just did his lap in a full second slower than his quickest one of the race, which means when he had to speed up to overtake all the guys there and basically take the lead, he was a full second quicker, but now he's scared of the fuel consumption and he's very evidently coasting, which means that Anders is approximating him rapidly.
Meanwhile, Wilkes is definitely closing on Grant Ridal here, so we may see a pass for 3rd place at some point.
Yeah, and there's also Gabriele Del Piccolo getting close to Adam Hackman, who just went by Vadim Tasiak when he abandoned. But very good recovered by Del Piccolo.
Mm-hmm. We talked about the mental acuity question, Ryan, earlier. What do you think, if any, will that factor have on the tire choice when they come in?
I don't think it'll play a factor too much. I think the drivers will probably be thinking about for the pit stop if they want to try and if they're tempted to go on a harder tire and try and go to the end. But I think if any of these drivers do pit on, say, lap 25, for example, I think it'll be difficult to get to the end from there. Yeah, sorry about that. I was just watching something happening at the hairpin, but
yeah, Del Piccolo
making the move and
getting ahead of Hackman. He's now up to 10th place.
Yeah, as I was saying, I think pitting on lap 25, I think you'll probably find it difficult to get to the end from there with one stop if you do go on, say, the medium or soft tires. So I think if you want to try a long run or long stint after your pit stop, I think the hard tires are the way to go.
You concur with that, Alberto?
Well, yes. Only I know Ryan means the hard in relative terms because everybody is using here soft ones. So yeah, probably a component that is a bit harder than they had been using if they have been if they have needed to do a pit stop early.
Well, Jakes is basically not checked out, but he's definitely in a position where he's not under immediate threat from Nilsson. But definitely Wilkes is challenging Grant Radal, as it looks like he might have a shot. Here he does, going into turn 1, and he gets the overlap there and goes into third place. Very clean pass. I figured that's where we'd see most of the overtakes this time around. Look at there. You saw how Richard Wilkes' car kind of jinked a little bit. You can see there, that's the problem of getting the power down in some of these turns. If you're not careful, you can lose the back
coming
end.
out to traffic in a chicane. Let's see how this plays with Anders Nilsson.
It won't, because Matusek just makes room. But here's the thing: is he going to? No, he's now stuck between Jakes and Nilsson. But I doubt he's going to make a problem for Nilsson when he gets there.
No, he won't. He moves. Gives Nilsson the inside. Very swiftly done. Very good move, sir. Although, as you can see, the distance increased. That's what you got. Even if the traffic is cooperating, look at that. Jakes was able to increase his lead.
Yeah, he's way down the track now.
And it wouldn't surprise me because he's an old fox, that knowing what was going to happen in the next turns between Matusek and Nilsson, he basically maybe even cranked up the boost or stepped it up a bit. Oh, and Bruno Paggiola, we can see them. We can see him there in the sidelines, close to the wall. Unfortunate, because the Minardis had a very good finishing record so far.
Ray Radal has had an off just now in the Ligier, but is back on the track. So I think tire wear is starting to become a problem for some people. Yeah, I think at some point we're going to have to start watching the pits to see if any of the front runners come in.
So Coxon now in attack position towards Tim Hille.
Yeah, although Tim has been holding his own quite well.
You can see there the marbles also on the outside of the as if the track wasn't narrow enough. You also have to account with it.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Luciano Rosa spins in front of those cars. My goodness, that was very close.
Very good reflexes there. Luciano put the car back on direction between two cars.
And look at what that did. That basically interrupted the battle between Hille and Coxon.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So Hill is going to be sending a fruit basket to Rocha. Bruno Paggiola has told us on the YouTube chat that his engine expired. So that is why he left the race. Unfortunate, because I know he's got a lot of Brazilian fans in the YouTube chat. Who
Very
are here,
realistic, but unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
And watch out, because John Tim on his acrobatics is getting very close to Richard Coxon now. Instead of Coxon catching up with Tim Hille, he's being hunted himself. The hunter became the hunted right now.
Yeah, the two-wheeled hunter.
Indeed. And John Tim probably looking to be the next John Surtees of ISO. Champion on 4 and 2 wheels.
Oh, man. I wonder if he's even aware that that's happening.
No, on his computer everything looks as normal.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's just a glitch.
He's
the other Haas is looking perfect in the.
Yeah, I know. So. I really scratch my head and wonder what's going on here. But if he watches the broadcast later, he's going to be really perplexed at the TV time he's getting.
Yeah, well, the broadcast, yes, maybe in the replay, not even. But I think that one of the reasons of this happening is a slight delay when he joined in the broadcast, and maybe it's like a bit. He's constantly put with some delay in regards to the track geometry by the game, something like that. We've seen that in some situations earlier. Only it hasn't lasted for so long.
It's that Swedish internet.
In any case, if he wants to come play with us in the ovals, he has already the car at the proper attitude.
Oh yeah, no, he is. He's gonna be racing with us next Sunday. He's gotten.
Yeah, but that's not an oval.
True, it's not, but I think he has an excellent shot at doing well at Mosport.
Well, if he appears on two wheels in Mosport, I'm going to start thinking of something different.
All right, so cars are still circulating at the front here without making a pit stop, but I'm guessing. Oh my goodness! Jakes has just let Nilsson by into the lead. He's pulling off. Jakes is out of the race. It appears. What happened?
I wonder if he blew. I was going to say I wonder if he blew his engine, but can't see any smoke.
No, there wasn't any smoke. But let's listen on board here in the replay.
Engine. He's listed as engine.
Oh no!
I don't get it. He was not anywhere near the rev limiter.
There it is. The engine
he
lets go.
Some shifts. That could be the case. If he has missed some shift at some point and hit the limiter, that's something that the BMW engine is very sensitive to.
That is very unfortunate for David Jakes, especially in his home Grand Prix.
And unexpected, only 36% into the race.
Normally, I would say that the local fans would be heading for the exits, but the Tifosi still have plenty to cheer about. And as I've mentioned, this is Ferrari country because of the Italian community that lives in Montreal. Ruben Fernandez now, with that retirement, moves up to 7th place.
And Adam Hackman also was out of the race some laps ago.
Oh my goodness!
So, yeah, no Williams in the race anymore.
It's a disastrous, and it's too bad, a disastrous Williams race, because this weekend is the birthday of two F1 names of lore. Sir Frank Williams, his birthday was on the 16th, and on the 17th was Riccardo Patresi's birthday. So Ruben now has a golden opportunity here. All he needs is for one more car to bite the dust, and you don't wish any ill will on any other driver, but Ruben could be looking at a points-paying finish here in the AGS. That's incredible. And it shows that his Spa drive was not a fluke.
Yeah. Many races still to go, so we'll see. Oh, Adam Hackman had a disco.
It says disco, yeah.
Unfortunate.
And John Team continues to two-wheel it around the course in 6th place. Coxon is 5th now, of course, with the elevation of everybody.
Although I should say that John Team looks now perfectly okay in my own computer. Oh, okay, yeah.
No, it's intermittent. It comes and goes.
Comes and goes, yeah.
Yeah.
He lifts when he goes into one of the corners and then goes back to the ground again.
Oh boy.
Night Rider. So Coxon is in the pits, attention.
Oh yes, Coxon in the pits making his stop. What tires is he going to? The D compound. Super softs, I believe.
Super bright.
Super brights also. Armor All apparently on the list of supplies in the Ferrari garage.
That's very interesting because that's a bit earlier than expected, but for super softs. But then again, he started on super softs, and obviously this means that his super softs with a heavier fuel load are shot now. But because he's going to do the second stint of the race with less fuel on the tank, this should mean that he is actually right now going to be able to make it, well, at least in equal terms to the first stint, only even if a bit longer. So let's see, Wilkes is now propelled to second position with this situation. There's Nilsson from Wilkes, from Grant.
And Tim Hille.
Tim Hille then, John Tim, who is
in 5th. Another great performance for him so far.
Yeah. On his super soft, super brights on the air.
Yep.
Ruben Fernandez, amazingly
6th
enough.
place now.
6th place, and now
because of Coxon's because of Coxon's demotion to 7th from
Del
the pit
Piccolo,
stop.
Del Piccolo, pay attention to that, in 8th position, which is, it doesn't seem as too much, sound as too much, but he was 20-something at the start of the race after a very bad start. So if there's any recovery, that's this one. There's Juha was trying to unlap himself from Richard Coxon. Not going to work very well. But Nilsson seems to be now solidly in the lead, 8 seconds in front.
And he stays out another lap. He hasn't finished yet.
Yes. He seems to be able to preserve the tires better than Coxon.
Yeah,
now he finds traffic there. And traffic again. Maybe it wasn't that good of an idea staying here for another lap, because the gap to the car behind just diminished a full second being there behind lap traffic. And you see, that's what we have talked many times over in this race. 5 seconds to the hard behind. 2 full seconds lost in this section alone.
Well, Wilkes has still got to stop, so we'll see what happens. But
well, Nelson too. So, but we've mentioned it many times. If you do not time it well into these sections, when there is a car in front, you're going to struggle big time. And I think that Wilkes is now suffering the same fate because the distance is increasing. See that? No traffic ahead of him, so he just was a bit slower at this point. There is now Nilsson moving by, but it has taken a toll in his lead.
One driver that we haven't shown much of, but we really should, is Jonathan Asserklint, who is up 10 positions since he started the race. Thank you to Barry Lynn for pointing this out to us in the chat. Yeah, so he's been driving very well in that West Zach Speed Racing entry.
Sakpit, who were best known to everybody for other different engines and championships, but they ventured here into Formula One at this point.
Yeah, Jonathan, our play-by-play guy for the USAC series, getting some much-deserved TV time right now.
So Coxon now obviously on fresh tires, getting way much quicker behind.
Yeah,
Ruben
now
Fernandez.
he's closing in on Fernandez and probably won't take very long getting by him, I wouldn't think.
No.
No, he's closing hand over fist.
John Tim hasn't been in the pits yet, I think.
So that's 2 engine retirements so far. So it makes you wonder about everybody else's engines. So I wonder if we're going to see some late race engine expirations.
Yeah, well, the Piccolo should be now a bit frightened because of that. But then again, you don't know if it was due to a misshift or whatever.
Ruben doing a good job holding his own here versus Coxon. I think he might be using the boost knob a bit to try to stay ahead of him. But he's going to have to come into pits at some point anyway, so maybe it might be a better idea to just let him go by. And Coxon probably going to shoot by on the inside here, and indeed he does. Coxon up to 6th place now. Ruben down to 7th. Oh, Ruben counterattacking on the inside. He will not just lay down and play dead, but looks like Coxon will probably out-drag him down to this corner here. Well, I don't know. No! He's staying right with him. Okay, he ducks back inside behind him now. But nice show there.
Jesus, that's really tight there. And Juha Boss makes also his move.
Yeah, but Juha's, that's not a pass for position there.
No, I know, but he has unlapped himself. And there's still plenty of race to go. So remember that Del Piccolo came from the 20-something position and is now 8th. So why not? Speaking of Del Piccolo, he's not really that far away from this group.
No, he is not.
He's actually in a quite good position to claim Ruben's 7th position very quickly. It's very impressive, this drive. It's a shame that Del Piccolo didn't get to a better start, because he has the legs, that's obvious. Same was the case with Jakes. Brian
can
Janik
see-
now also fighting for position with Jules Bouchard. We haven't talked about him very much, but he's the second Canadian in the race.
Who is?
Bouchard.
Oh, that's true. He is. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Now sandwiched between two Brabhams.
Yeah, Brabham sandwich here with Jules Bouchard as the meat.
Appropriately red.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy
Yeah, one-
Keels playing there the role of the friendly teammate.
Yeah,
Blocking
speaking
a
of-
bit Bouchard so that Brian Janik can get him.
Speaking of sandwiches, one of my favorite sandwiches they serve in Montreal is the smoked meat sandwich.
There it goes. Very neat by Keils.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, there we go.
It's
Ja-
interesting that the Haas is keeping there in front. One would think that this Brabham dragster, because that's a thing built for high speed,
Whoa.
would be able to outdrag it, but no.
That car did not like going through that quick section there.
Nope.
Well, Brian's giving it a nice ride.
And Tim is 5th. He has overtaken Coxon? No, okay.
Oh no! Ruben Fernandez is having an issue of some kind. Has dropped down to, I don't know what that was, but he was very slow exiting a corner. It looks like he's okay now, but he must have missed a shift or something. He's down to 8th now.
And Del Piccolo is interestingly signaling pits now.
All right.
Let's see what happens here. Because, yeah, probably he had not stopped so far. But it's interesting because whatever happened in the first end of his race, he's going to probably modify his strategy now. Yeah, there he
Well.
goes for the pits.
All right, coming into the pits now is Del Piccolo. Let's have a look at his tires as he stops to see if he makes a different choice. He was on the mediums. Up goes the car.
Super softs on the front and mediums on the rear.
Okay.
Very interesting choice.
Hmm.
Super brights on the front.
Oh yeah, the Armor All ones are on the front. That's for sure.
Hmm.
And away he goes.
Very quick with pit stop. That's going to benefit him a lot. He lost position to Bouchard, but he's going to climb it very quickly.
Yeah, team is 5th now in his two-wheeled entry.
And
Team
Ruben Fernandez, it wouldn't surprise me if he wants to
Wilkes
go
is
with
in the
no
pits.
stops at all.
Wilkes is in the pits now. Has dropped to 3rd, and he's about to lose 2 more places here.
Janik signaling pits also.
Okay, so we got several people coming in here.
Interesting that our leader Anderson is going to
C.
signal pits now.
C compound tires on Wilkes' car as he comes out of the pits.
So that's the same choice as before. But
Here comes John
Nilsson is now
Tiemann.
signaling pits. Watch out because Wilkes had a rather quick pit stop, but let's see what happens with Nilsson here.
And it looks like he's sticking with the super softs, John Team. Yep, car goes
Also
down.
seeing that
green
Tomas
chalk.
Matusek has not finished.
Hmm.
So both Minard is out of the race, which is very unfortunate. Engine also.
And Fernandez is going by into 6th place again with those pit stops, so he's back into the points, but of course he's got to stop yet. He's also got Armor All on the front wheels, so he's running super softs on the front. We'll see what his choice is when he
Here comes
when
our
he
leader
pits.
into the pits.
All right. The Tifosi stand at attention as Nilsson comes in. Car comes to a stop. You
very
can see the
swiftly
super
into the
softs.
pits.
And what tire choice will he make?
Super brights, front and rear.
Super brights. Okay, so no change for him. Out of the pits he goes.
Well, there was a lightning quick pit stop also.
Yeah, it was very
Brian
quick.
Janik is still there. Probably
Brian-
had repairs.
Brian's got repairs going on, I believe, which is going to cost him lots of time as the crew spit shines the Brabham.
And I'm wondering because John Ting has been in the pits already. He's on track. I don't recall having seen him in the pits, but then again, he's also on the Super Brights. So,
So the question now I'm curious about is when is well, Grant Riddall is now in the lead. The question is when is he going to come in? Also, Fernandez has to come in at
was
some
on
point.
not so soft tires. So maybe he still, I don't know, maybe he will try to make the whole race like this.
I don't know, but I doubt that that's going to work because you can see that Nilsson's right behind him.
Chacon now also signaling the pits.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Riddell will pit this lap.
No pit request for him so far.
I
as we can see.
wonder if that is what he's doing. Maybe he's decided he's going to go the whole race on one set of tires.
Nilsson is coming really quick. He's going to overtake him
No,
on
I know
the track,
it's not
so-
going to be long. I mean, look at him now. He's totally just he's gobbling up that gap. Yeah, he's not going to be able to hold him off for much longer. Maybe he could play some boost tricks to keep him back, but still, I mean, there's a long, long way to go in this race. We still got 32 laps to go.
Yeah, but this is a very interesting recovery in the championship for Anders Nilsson, who started off very, very well, but then in some races wasn't so much shining. So what would be the situation if he wins this race?
Looks like someone's lost a wing there, so some kind of problem there. It might have been David Saber there because we saw dirt and dust being kicked up just ahead of us. Indeed it is. David Saber missing a front wing, so he's going to be due in the pits shortly. Yeah. If you're in Nilsson's shoes, Ryan, I'm sure it's just a situation of just waiting for the right opportunity, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much just waiting for your opportunity to make a move. Just maybe just wait and just hang back a little bit and see if Riddell makes a mistake. But as I say that, Nilsson's closing up on Riddell into the final corner, or final chicane rather, and he's got the run heading across the home straight, but I don't think he's close enough to get a move done into turn one.
I think Grant might be reaching down and turning that knob as well.
Yeah, but
frankly.
Nilsson is a very patient guy, and he knows Grant hasn't been in the pit so far, so he's probably just going to stay there unless a very clear opportunity presents itself.
Oh, there he goes up the inside, but didn't happen. Ruben Fernandez has made his pit stop and has dropped to 9th, so that's pretty much all the front runners save Grant, I believe.
Yeah, maybe Grant wants to do the whole race like this, but at some point Nilsson will be sure of that, and just by cranking up the boost, he will be able to dispense with him. So
Now we talked about there's going to be split loyalties here in the stands because you've got Renault and Gitan, which is an all-French team, and of course we're in French Canada. But then you've got the Tifosi in the stands too. So, oh, here comes Nilsson up the inside. Is
Grant's
Grant's
going
going to go for the cutback. He's going to go for the cutback, turn up the boost, and yep, I knew he was going to do that, but it doesn't appear like he's going to do it. No, Grant is now down to second place. Nilsson back in the lead. The Tifosi will be going berserk when he comes by the start-finish area. So now, and you can see that Grant is backed right off. So.
And
I think
Grant signaling pits now.
Yeah, now it's clear to him that whatever strategy he had is not going to work.
Well, I think that at this point, what he basically did was try to hold Anders Nilsson a bit to make him waste time behind him and then go for his pit stop.
Do you think that he could go for super softs and then just like run after him and get him?
I don't know, but I believe that Grant is at any rate saving fuel for the end of the race, and that we will be seeing him go much quicker towards the end of the race, much quicker.
What do you
If
think, Ryan?
he is able to save the fuel.
Ryan, do you think that is a possibility?
Yeah, I have to agree with Alberto. I think it's a good possibility. So, but whether he can pull it off, it remains to be seen.
You need to be very disciplined as a driver to be able to make this. I mean, you have so much extra laps of push to spend, and then the rest must be an economy run. So you need to have a lot of discipline and self-control if you want to have restraint and play your cards towards the end of the race. And Grant, I don't know how disciplined he is, to be honest, but yeah, I've seen him short shifting, and the technique that he's using is obviously very much towards economy. So maybe he's actually trying to do that.
Oh, here he comes into the pits.
Okay, Mickey is in front, shouldn't be a problem. Whoops.
Yep.
As soon as I say it.
Yeah.
They had very similar pit stalls.
All right,
That's it for Grant, because this seems to be a rather long pit stop for Grant.
Well, he's going with, it appears, green chalk on both the front and the rear. So he's got
Not
super
the
soft.
quickest. Not the quickest.
Super softs all the way around for him. So clearly he's going to come out on the track and just try to drive like a demon. But he's down to 4th now, so he's got a lot of work to do. Coxon in 3rd, Wilkes in 2nd, and Nilsson looking very stout indeed, I have to say. None of us picked him.
Johnny Ace is signaling pits now.
Okay.
Whoa, Kayumi Kiel's climbing the walls there.
Yeah, Jonathan's driven an excellent race here so far. And the gap between himself and KO is pretty wide, so he should be able to get out of the pits without any trouble here.
Nice battle meanwhile between David Sabre and Luciano Rocha. They are fighting for 18th position, but nevertheless, they are having a nice days around there. There comes Sabre with the Renault power.
And Johnny's going to stay with the C compound on the front and the rear. There he goes. Bit of a slow exit, but he stays in 13th place. Yeah, there's plenty of distance between himself and KO McKeels. He can emerge from the pits without worrying about that, but here comes Wilkes. Lapping Jonathan, and
so all this situation has allowed Richard Coxon to place himself in 3rd position, which he has taken away from Grant during the pit stop. But now Richard is caught up in traffic.
Uh-oh. Yeah, he is. He's right behind Brian Janik. And this is going to give Grant a chance to close in.
Yeah, well, there is a big gap between them, but
well,
that's why Coxon is taking it with a lot of calm. There he goes now.
Might be a good time to have a look at the trivia question.
Push Art into the pits, and yeah, we can look at the trivia question now.
Okay. Well, this will be the preview of it. We didn't do it earlier, but this will be the preview, and then we'll do the question and answer later. So the trivia question is, Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton are tied for the most Canadian Grand Prix wins with 7 apiece. Who is 3rd on this list with 3 wins? Is it A, Nelson Piquet, B, Alain Prost, or C, Ayrton Senna? We'll have the answer for you after the race is over. Something for you guys to ponder. Yeah, you
and
can
you
see.
say 3rd, not 2nd in the wins.
Yeah, well, I guess that would be 3rd on the list because those 2 are tied for 1st.
Okay.
Yeah. Schumacher and Hamilton. And look at this, Grant. Oh, sorry, I was mistaking Janek's car for another blue car. Yeah, you're right. Grant definitely has a long way to go before he catches So So I wonder if Wilkes has got any strategy up his sleeve. Do either of you have an opinion on that? Maybe he's been holding back a little bit and he's got a ace that he's going to play.
Meanwhile, it's Del Piccolo who is hounding John Tim. I just hope that Del Piccolo is seeing a normal car in front of him, because otherwise that's going to affect his concentration.
Well, given the fact that all three of us see the same thing, my guess is that no, he does not. He probably sees the car doing silly things in front of him, just like we do. Probably the one person who's blissfully unaware of it is John Team himself.
Probably.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if I were seeing that in front of me, I think that would definitely affect my concentration.
And I'm seeing something very interesting in Del Piccolo's car, and you guys correct me because I might be seeing it wrong. But does he have a super soft on the right and a soft on the left in the front? Is he using a symmetrical setup?
I do not know.
Because one of the tires is clearly bright and the other.
Oh, you're right. You're right. That's true. The one on the right-hand side is super soft, but the one on the left does not appear to be. I didn't know that you had the option to do that in this mod.
You have, although not many people have been using it, but then why not here in Canada? That's interesting. Oh, there he goes. Maybe, yes.
Oh, no, collision. And now he's into the grass. I wonder if he's going to let Team by. No, he does not. Okay.
No, it's Team who lets him by.
No, Team let him by.
Which means he acknowledges that it was more his fault than Del Piccolo's.
All right, I see. So, Gabriel is up to 6th now.
Yeah, Gabriel clearly had the position. And Tim closed the door on him, but it was a bit too late there. Just hope that, yeah. And I just hope that there is no damage done to Del Piccolo's car.
Well, the gap from Anders Nilsson to Richard Wilkes is 14.9 seconds. So if Wilkes has anything left to challenge him, he better start making hay while the sun is still shining. Coxon in 3rd. Grant in 4th. Kudos to Juha for staying out there and still driving, even though he's got no chance of scoring points.
Whoop! A spin by Ruben Fernandez now.
Oh, yep. And another spin. Shoot.
This time in the grass. Just that he doesn't stall the engine. Okay.
No, he's got
he
it.
lost
Okay,
one
good.
position there.
Yeah. Well, I guess he's lucky they didn't lose more.
Yep. To Ryan Riddle. And I guess it's the concentration problem that you had already mentioned, because if you need concentration on any of the top cars, in these ones in the AGS you need like double as much concentration.
Yeah. Although I don't know. I mean, it's the AGS is not that bad of a car to drive. It's just slow.
No, but I mean, you need to be extracting 110% of it all the time.
Oh yeah. I guess that makes sense. True. It's just like we always say at Indianapolis too. The drivers who are in the process of bumping or wanting to get into the race at the back of the field are the ones that drive the hardest, not the ones who have the best cars.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So Anders Nilsson is now leading the race with a very healthy 19 seconds gap.
So that
to
gap
the car
is
behind.
increasing rapidly. Because it was 15 seconds just a lap before. Oh my goodness! Oh no! Grant Riddle, Juha Boss have had an accident.
What happened there?
On the north side of the island. Not sure what happened there. Let's have a look at a replay. My goodness. Oh no, it's Grant Riddle. It's Grant Riddle that had the accident, not Ray. My goodness.
He was lapping Bouchard, and he got sideways.
Yeah, he was lapping Bouchard and got sideways. Oh my goodness. Well, an awkward situation there turns into a disastrous one, and poor Juha has had his second accident today. Oh, my goodness.
Again without the front wing.
Well, Grant Grant was lucky to get away with that, with no damage. I mean, it looked like it was just light contact, so he should be able to continue without any problem. But that really, that basically cemented the third place that Coxon has now. If there was any hope of chasing him down, it's pretty much gone now.
Yeah, and also I should say that some laps ago, Francois Remen, the second BMW, Barclay Arrows, has gone out of the race with engine trouble.
Well, those BMW engines are proving to be quite fragile. So...
Yeah, Piccolo is still in a solid 6th position, but he should be careful with this.
Mm-hmm.
Grant, although despite having that accident, seems to be hanging on there to the 4th position.
Yeah, Tim Hill is a further 4.6 seconds behind. So we'll have to watch and see if that gap comes down at all.
And Ruben Fernandez now is back on Ray Ridal's toes after his spin.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to make it like Sullivan and spin and win, or at least for that position.
Yeah, it looks like he's closing quickly here, so we could see a battle for 8th shortly. And Bouchard is quite a distance behind Ruben Fernandez, so he doesn't have to worry about being overtaken by him.
Coxon now into lap traffic, but by fortunately, lots of gap between the leading cars. So unless something really weird happens, this should be more or less the stable positions that are going to keep towards the end of the race. But then again, you never know. The drama is always around the corner here with the full consumption and turbo lag.
Yeah, and Ray Ridal is now definitely under attack from Ruben Fernandez. This is the best battle on the circuit right now. I'm sure that Ray is keeping the boost knob handy there to try to keep behind.
Chacon fighting there with Brian Janik, tries to pass, makes the pass, and spins in front.
Oh no.
That didn't work out as planned.
Yeah, Fernandez definitely trying as hard as he can, giving the 110% you described earlier, because he wants to get around this blue Ligier.
And what a disaster race for Hugh Havos. He's now behind the leader, and it's very funny because he has the pace of the leader and he actually wants to unlap himself, but he can't. I mean, it's obvious that his position in the race is just to not interfere with anything.
Well, it's not USAC. He can't hope for a yellow and then go all the way around the track. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's something he might try at Mosport next Sunday.
Well, if the USAC men are anything but sensitive there, there's going to be plenty of yellows because that track is going to be very unforgiving too.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with USAC man there. Oh my goodness, Grant has missed 2 shifts in succession, and now Ruben Fernandez is chomping at the bit to get by. Blue flags here because we have Wilkes coming by. Fernandez very generously lets Wilkes by, which basically puts a mile between himself and the car he was just attacking. I don't know. I would have waited a bit longer to let Wilkes by if I were Ruben in that situation. I think he was a bit too judicious. Because now he has to catch all that back up again. Yeah, look at how much time he's lost.
Yeah, well, we didn't lose an empire for nothing, you know.
Oh, dang. One thing occurred to me, because, Ruben is Spanish. I looked up his IP address where he's coming from. He actually lives in the Canary Islands.
He does. He's actually
Yeah.
from Burgos, which is one of the original founding cities of the Kingdom of Castilla. But he's living in the Canary Islands, yes. I spoke with him about it, and he's living in Gran Canaria, actually.
All right,
My
so Ray's
mother
probably...
is in the other big island, in Tenerife.
All right, so Ray's going to probably let Wilkes by here. He does, but you can see Ray did it in a way that he didn't lose a lot of speed. Whereas I think Fernandez probably, I know he was trying to get out of the way of a lead lap car, but I think he might have done himself a bit of a mischief. Not a mischief. I think he. Well, now look at this. He's right back up with Ray again. So maybe we can see this battle get resumed now.
And now that you mentioned that thing about the Canary Islands, just anecdotal, but he is in the same time zone as Brad Riddle now, because the Canary Islands are on the English time zone.
Really? Well, that would
They
make
are.
sense because they're out in the Atlantic Ocean a little bit.
Yeah.
They're a little further east than the rest of the continent, so that makes sense.
So they are 1 hour younger than ours here.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny Ace is now passing Luciano, although he is... What position is Johnny Ace is in?
He's 13th.
Okay.
So he's
So
way in front of. That
he was
not for.
actually lapping him.
Yeah, that was not for position. He was the next closest car to him is K.O. McKeel's, and he's quite a distance back.
Okay,
nine-
interesting.
nine-
Richard Coxon is signaling pits again.
Okay, now that's not expected. I wonder why he's doing that.
Maybe they were on a two-stop strategy because those super softs.
That's weird. I don't understand why.
There
would be,
he goes, he
there he
goes,
goes. Okay. Maybe
Is it
I
going
guess
to be the same for the leader? Because in that case, he's not that much up in front as one could think.
more armor all in these tires, boys. You didn't put enough on previously. And he's staying with the super softs, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
What would be the point of doing anything but those?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm watching now, Anders, because I'm curious to see if he's also on the same strategy. And they usually are, because they share setups and they work together.
Oh, the two of them are on TeamSpeak all the time with their goofy channel names, planning strategy. What do
And
you?
their engineer.
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan? Do you think that they're running the same strategy?
Yeah, that's what I'm interested to see if Anders will pit this lap as well, or pit again anyway. I can't see any pit requests from him as he comes across or comes around the final couple of corners and he comes across the line again. So yeah, I'm interested to see if Anders will stop again. But with Richard, I'm not really surprised about him stopping again because he's got nothing to lose. Just stick on another set of
Oh, Tim Hill in the grass, sorry. He was probably trying to catch up with Coxon, but he ended up in the grass. Coxon is now 4th, Grant Riddle is in 3rd, and Grant hasn't stopped yet.
Yeah, it's a classic overshoot of that chicane by Hilla. I think we've all done that at least once on this track. Oh my goodness, Ruben Fernandez out of the race. How did that happen? I guess he had some kind of an... Oh, that's really too bad. Because we were looking forward to seeing a race between him and Ray Riddle. Well, I guess we'll have to find out after the fact what went wrong because it happened too long ago. What does it say on the menu where you are, Alberto?
Let me check. Wait a moment, because I'm not even seeing him. Yeah, accident.
He had an accident, okay. Well, once
That's
again,
the
though,
problem with those slow cars. I mean, you have to push them so much that you're constantly on the verge of the problem, of the tragedy.
makes me wonder what he would be like in a faster car.
Quite dangerous.
Well, to your point, you don't have to push as hard, right?
No, I mean dangerous for the.
Oh,
leaders
dangerous
in that-
meaning competitive. I get you.
competitive, yes.
So while things have calmed down here, oops, let's talk about what's going on next Sunday for a moment. Next Sunday, the Molson Diamond Indy, which is the 6th round of the USAC series. I've been putting in a lot of time on the server practicing, and although I'm resigned to not being the quickest car in the track, but I want to be the most consistent. Have you put in any laps so far, Alberto, and what is your take
I did
on
more on
this
the
race?
precision, but I must say that with the latest patch, the tires that Wilkes developed for our races, for road courses, they are beautiful. I mean, I was scared before the season started because these cars are a handful in ovals, and in the road courses I was really afraid because with so much power and all the technology and all that, you need to be on your toes, and well, I quickly ran out of talent when driving these cars in the road courses. But with the latest iteration of the Wilkes tires, I think that they are really good to drive. I mean, at least I can say that I am confident I can finish this race and have the car under control. So I'm looking forward to this, yes.
And then, of course, after that, we go to Detroit for the
Oh,
series.
Grant Bridal is without a front wing.
Uh-oh. Well,
And he's signaling the pits now. What happened there? I don't catch it in the replay.
he's already missing the wing here, so I don't know. Maybe it's the same corner that we saw before. No, he had the wing there, so...
And he was doing wheelies on the front straight when trying to get to the pits. Probably trying to compete for the most artistic stunt with John Tim.
Yeah, John Team gets artistic impression points for this round. But yeah, God, this happened a while ago. My guess is it probably happened when he came out of turn 1.
Well, Grant Riddell's out.
Oh, he's out of the race now? Damn!
Yeah, it just popped up on my position menu that he's DNF'd.
Doesn't say why. It just
Probably
says DNF
he
right
saw
now.
that the repairs would not allow him to continue.
Well,
Or
that's too
maybe
bad.
because of his injury, he was already too tired, exhausted. But
That's another point. We hadn't thought about that. Well, for whatever reason, Grant out of the race, and that is going to elevate John Team into the points again in 6th place. Del Piccolo's 5th. Ray Riddall is going to be 7th, and Chacon will be 8th, which is a good drive for him. We haven't shown too much of Chacon in this series, or in this race, I'm sorry. But here he is in 9th, soon to be 8th. Once again, a patient drive seems to be paying off. If not in points, in terms of finish rate. Because I know that's something that he's very conscious of. Yep, there it is. He's in 8th place now. And Ray, although his son hasn't had the best of days, he's up into 7th now, so there's a chance that Ray might actually have a points-paying finish here if any more incidents happen. Team in 6th place.
And Gabriele is now 5th.
Yeah, Gabrielle is having an excellent race.
And only 5 seconds behind Tim Hille.
But we gotta
really
think about
amazing.
that BMW engine. I mean, I don't know. I think at this point there's a huge question mark over that car.
Well, it could be. But he's doing 126s. And in the case of Tim Hille, he's doing 127. So Gabriele is definitely quicker.
Interesting.
Catching up The only thing is that he had been held in traffic, but look at that. I mean, coming out of the hairpin now and has Tim Healy already on side.
And that strategy of a second stop by Coxon clearly was a smart one, or, well, it worked out well, let's say that, because now he's in third after the retirement of Grant. Yeah, and the gap between Wilkes and Nilsson it's back down to 15 seconds now, so it's not. It went up a little bit before, now it's back down to 15 seconds, but I don't know, he's not making much headway.
And I'm wondering now, and this is absolutely, I don't know, probably just stupid thinking too far away, but if you stop 2 times versus 1, will that help you with the fuel consumption? Because yeah, you're going quicker the rest of the time in the track, but then you're stopped for more time. And we know from the USAC series that when there is a yellow or a new stop, you're really saving a lot of fuel.
I can't imagine it'd be that big of a fuel savings.
Yeah, but these guys, I mean, remember that we have had finishes where people went through the finish line with 0.2 of a liter left.
True.
So you don't know. You never know.
So this is interesting. Nilsson about to overtake John Team. His attention span very good in this race, but I wonder if he's going to be going, what in the world is wrong with John's car?
Yeah, there was a few people in practice mentioning about John's car that it looked a bit funny, but I guess it's just it could just be a bug around this track or something to do with that car.
I tend to think that he has done something funky with the setup that works for him, and the game is misinterpreting it when showing it on screen for us.
Maybe.
Now Tim Healy has seen the situation and has sped up. I don't know if it's due to turbo or Gabriele having been held up behind the lap cars, but the gap is now a bit higher, up to 8 seconds. Not that this is going to stop Gabriele for a long time, I think. Yeah, now the gap is even higher, but I don't know. I think that Healy has sped up with the turbo boost, and maybe because we are not that far from the end, he's going to use his turbo now, whatever laps he had left to use it, so that he puts a healthy gap now that he has an open track in front of him.
Oh, Wilkes struggling to engage the next gear there. It's again mental.
Whoops! Coxon just pushed the wall. Ooh, the wall of champions coming out there to the main straight. He's really pushing it.
All right, let's take a look at it again. Yeah, the wall of champions. Oh, he did very hard actually.
Oh, and Tim Healy, accident.
Oh no!
And I think it's in the same place.
So the wall of champions bites twice in the same lap. Oh, this was caused by running over the curb, I believe. Yes, this is a la Mansell in 1992. Hilla has hit the curb on the inside of the, and it sent him into the outside.
Lost direction there.
Yeah, lost direction. Oh, that's really unfortunate because Tim had a good race going.
It seems only the other team is able to go on 2 wheels these days without losing the control of the car.
So now that elevates John Team to 5th place. Ray Radal actually now is looking at a possible points-paying finish now. He's going to elevate to 6th place. That means Chacon will be 7th, Bouchard 9th. I'm sorry, Bouchard will be 8th, and Janik will be 9th.
And Del Piccolo is 4th.
Yep. And Johnny Aces will have been elevated to 10th after all this shakes out. So a good race for Johnny gets even better.
And Janik is now fighting with position for position with Bouchard. They're fighting for the 9th position. Ryan anxious to get by.
Yeah.
Bouchard driving a steady line. Very desesperating when you're quicker than the car in front but don't have the chances to overtake. I think this is a typical touring car situation. What do you do in these situations, Brian?
I'm not sure what you would do, to be honest. I mean, it's it's a difficult situation, but you can't really afford to do anything too hasty, or especially around this track, because or most of the time it can end up in disaster.
Yeah, in touring cars you have always the ability to use the chrome bumper, the chrome horn, the bumper as they say in NASCAR. I mean, you can always like push a bit the car in front and let him know that you are there, but here you're limited to trying to make the other driver force him into an error, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's all about well, especially in touring cars anyway as well. Uh, it's all about trying to make the driver in front of you make a mistake, or if you can't do that, most of the time drivers will do like you say, do something that we call in the UK or in Europe anyway, something called a bump and run.
Janik's right with him now. He's definitely stalking him. I mentioned before the change in helmet in that car. I'm not sure who that's supposed to be at this point in the Brabham.
It should be. Wait a moment, because Elio De Angelis
Yeah,
unfortunately died in the.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's the case in the time. I mean, Elio died before the Paul Ricard event. He died there, but it was
Well, it's
before
not
the event, so maybe that was the case.
I'm looking for a name in the car, and it's not Giorgio Armani driving the car, so it's got to be somebody else. I do not know. Is it Renzo Zorzi, maybe? 'Cause he had a similar helmet. I don't know. Never mind. Looks like he's got a shot here coming into the chicane. No, not enough room, and he ducks back behind Bouchard. Oh boy, this might be it. No.
It was Derek Warwick, actually.
Derek Warwick?
Yes. He had been hired by Brabham to fill in for Elio De Angelis, who had died a month earlier.
Yeah, that's right. It does look like Warwick's helmet, now that you mention it. Okay. So, man, Janik trying really hard to get by Bouchard here. And people in the stands, I'm sure, going nuts because Bouchard is Canadian and they want to see him hold off Brian.
Who is actually not from that far away.
Well, Brian's going to have a lot of people. Brian's going to have a lot of people cheering him on 2 weeks from now in Detroit, because he is the Detroit Demon. So, as a commentator, I'm going to have to be very careful not to play favorites.
Whoops!
Oh, whoa! Well,
that.
there goes that. You know,
both Brian and me had concurred some laps earlier that forcing the other driver into an error would be the way to pass, and there you go.
Yep. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the least.
Now let's see if Bouchard gets revenge or not, because this is a game that actually two can play.
I don't know. That BMW looks strong. Yeah, look at that. He's just streaking away now. Goodness. So we have 8 laps to go in the race at this point, and I think your observation earlier was pretty much correct, that the people at the front are going to stay there unless there was going to be any like last-minute histrionics, and but that didn't happen in the top 5. So we've seen like a revolving door of people in 6th place, it seems.
So it seems, yes. There's Brian Riddle now in that position. and Bruno Chacon is 12 seconds behind him. So unless something really bad happens, I think that Pride is going to score a point for Ligier. Ooh, watching there. Careful,
Juha
guys.
overtaking Bouchard there. That's not a pass for position.
No, but it was 80 enough.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Bouchard was not happy with that because...
No, because he's interfering in the fight between both.
Yeah.
I can understand what's going on. I mean, for Bouchard, it wasn't...
Well, there goes
I mean,
Boss
Juha
by.
Boss
I mean,
is not fighting for anything, but Bouchard is fighting for that position.
yeah, but Boss is faster, clearly, than both of them, so it's not like he's just going to hang back there.
Yeah, well, and their position is not
Yeah, I
for
know.
points anyway, so... But yeah, when you're in the heat of the battle, I mean, any self-respecting driver who is in the heat of the battle wants that position of the car in front, so no matter if it's for points or not.
Yep. Oh, good. Del Piccolo out of the race. No.
Oh, no.
What happened?
Accident. Why?
Well, I'm going to try to find out here. We got like a revolving camera.
Yeah, me too, me too.
Did he go off the circuit?
Me?
All right, let's see what happened here.
So John Two-Wheel Steam is now...
Oh
in
my
pole
goodness,
position.
he hit the car, just lifted off. He lost front downforce and the car went in the air.
Ah, in a curb.
He hit the curb and the car just went flying, my goodness. Well, we saw a similar accident like that happen to Coxon late in the race. I wonder if this is a similar situation. Now
But
he's
this
in the
puts Bruno
St.
Chacon in
Lawrence
the
Seaway.
points.
Now he can join the rowing club. He's in the St. Lawrence Seaway now. Or no, this is he's in the rowing basin. Shoot. So yeah, now that brings Chacon into the points.
It does, yes.
Wow. There's Bruno, who won the test race to start the year, but since then hasn't really had any... I mean, he's finished some races, but no points finishes so far. This would be fantastic if he's able to score points finally for McLaren.
Yeah, in this case especially because Juha has not been able to have a good result today. And I don't think that there are any drop scores for the Constructors' Championship.
So we're looking at about 6 laps to go now. Ray, this has turned out to be a great race for him, 5th place. And John Team in 4th place, still doing his two-wheeled dance. Coxon 3rd, Wilkes in 2nd, and that gap it's remained pretty static since we saw it last at 16 seconds now. So
yeah, and all of them waiting for the other car to end without fuel or to have damage.
Yeah, that's you're right. That's basically what we're down to at this point.
At this point, this is more like vultures circling in the air than drivers going around the racetrack.
Yeah, Bouchard is staying close with Janik, but yeah, I don't think he can counterattack really. So the question now becomes: can Janik close in on Chacon before the race is over?
Well, that's a quite big gap now. 12
15,
seconds, so
15 and a half seconds between Janik and Chacon. So I would think no, probably not.
Yeah, and Janik I think is more concerned of Bouchard behind him than anything else. Because Bouchard is really still close, and any error by Brian Janik means that he will lose that position. And yeah, they're not fighting here for the points, but that doesn't mean that you don't have that desire to always be one more position ahead.
No, a race is a race, no matter what the
exactly.
No matter what the payoff is. Well, a great race has been driven by Anders, that's for sure. I mean,
it's the typical race by Anders or successful race by Anders. I mean, very discreet, not any fuse around, other people abandoning and whatever. But then you, whoa, Rairida spinning in the front straight. That was.
Oh no!
Whoa.
Wow.
360 and he's able to go on. Didn't collect Coxon in the way. Check.
Man, he's
check,
really
check. That worked well.
Oh my God, it's another Wall of Champions incident, but this time he did, yeah,
But
he
look
went.
at Bruno Chacon now. Bruno Chacon is 6 behind him. They're fighting for position.
Wow. Yeah, so Chacon could be looking at a top 5 here.
He's melted blood in the water very quickly. And
So all
basically crack up the boost.
So all the Brazilian fans on our YouTube chat, there you go. It is could be looking at a top 5 for a Brazilian driver here, in the form of Bruno Chacon, one of our more enthusiastic members here at ISO, and Ridal may be driving with a damaged car as well, because he clouded that wall pretty hard.
I'm not sure. I think he avoided it. Did he hit it?
Well, he certainly lost a lot of time spinning there, but
no, but I think it was a clean spin.
Okay.
But the tires, those seem to be shot. That's a different story there. Big drama always here at the end.
Yep. And look at this. I think Bruno's going to go for it here. Well, he had the lift on that straight there, but I think he definitely has the legs to overtake Ray. He just has to get the car placed right. And he's seen all the people having these incidents at the Wall of Champions, and he doesn't want to have a similar incident, so he's very gingerly going through there. Very smart by Bruno.
Two very veteran drivers. Bruno just trying to put some pressure on Ray.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now Ray has got K.O. McKeels in front of him, so we'll see if this plays into this battle at all, unwittingly. We've had one graphic displayed today of what can happen when a back marker is in the wrong place at the wrong time, as K.O. very clearly makes room for Ray, but I don't know if... Well, Bruno's really hustling here to get by. Yeah, he gets by. So both cars get by K.O. with no problem. And now I think Bruno's going to think to himself, okay, oh my goodness, you see right there, he had a problem putting down the power, and look at how much time Ray gained there. Just in that one slight miscue by Bruno.
Ooh, there he comes with the
Oh, here he comes, Bruno, looking at 5th place. Is he going to do it? Yes, Bruno gets through at the very, my goodness, at a very perilous part of the track.
Yes, very complicated place. But let's see now how the washout plays for Ray. Very careful there, guys, because there is washout here also.
Yes, but Bruno Chacon up into 5th place for Marlboro McLaren International. Very smooth and steady race, but it's not over yet. Ray definitely stalking him here.
Yannick and Bouchard still at it. Brian hasn't been unable to shake off Bouchard.
Man, Ray wants that position back. He goes up the inside. There's contact between Bruno and Ray Ridal. Bruno stays in 5th place. The gloves are off here in Montreal between Bruno Chacon and Ray Ridal.
Quite interesting that Anders seems to be really having to save fuel a lot, because his distance to Wilkes has diminished to 13 seconds when it was 20 some laps before. Obviously he's on his last lap, so he's not risking anything.
Yeah, we are on the final lap now. My apologies, I was so busy looking at the battle between Chacon and Ray Ridal, but here comes Anders. Fantastic race from him, and will definitely...
And this is not over, because Ray is counter-attacking. He looks at the left.
Oh my goodness! He's on the grass! Oh goodness! Chacon goes into what will be his final lap, but my goodness, yeah, Ray is absolutely all over the place counter-attacking.
Yeah. I mean, full boost here, and the gloves are absolutely off.
Meanwhile, here comes Anders Nilsson. 2 more corners to go. And the checkered flag is out for Anders Nilsson. Forza Italia. The Flying Swede wins in Montreal.
And let's see where Rice
Wilkes
having
finishes
something
second.
for Bruno Chacon, because this is very exciting. This situation
Yeah.
is... Whoa. Coming here to the first of the chicanes.
Man, this is two people who... Oh! Ray losing the back end. Those tires are definitely shot. You're right. He's probably got one more chance maybe to get by him.
Coming to the hairpin, and my guess is that he will try to come smoothly out of here just to get the best acceleration for the
Yep.
maximum boost here. Try to get the slipstream. But that Porsche engine is very, very strong. Oh, look at that.
Oh! He's got one more shot, but I don't think he can do it. No. Out of the corner. He's going to be up alongside him. Is he going to be able to do it? The boost is all the way up. No. Chacon takes 5th place. Fantastic performance from both of these drivers. Wow. Awesome.
Bruno blocked the track very
And,
well.
and John Team has finished 4th on 2 wheels. There he goes. He's going to get quite surprised when he sees the broadcast, I think. And 3rd for Richard Coxon, so a great finish for Richard. So yeah, a great day for Ferrari overall, and Wilkes, this is going to be very good for the point situation for these three. It brings Richard further up the points. Nilsson and Wilkes, it's very good for their championship hopes. John
So
Team...
you have managed to finish 9th. Yomi Kies in 10th, and 11th is Jonathan Atherclint.
Jonathan drove a great race today.
Yeah, same for Michael Drexler, who brought the Osella to the end.
Yeah, Drexler finishes 12th in an Osella. That's fantastic. KO, it says he DNF'd, but he's going to be classified 10th. Not sure what that's about. But that was a very, very exciting Canadian Grand Prix. We could probably do our trivia as one parting shot of the two-wheeled Haas entry goes through our camera shot. Oh boy, sometimes you just have to laugh. All right, so let's go to the trivia question now. And I don't believe Ryan's in the booth with us at the moment, so it's just going to be you getting the wrong. So the trivia question was, one moment. All right, so Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton are tied for the most Canadian Grand Prix wins with 7 apiece. Who is third on this list with 3 wins? Is it A, Nelson Piquet, B, Alain Prost, or C, Ayrton Senna?
Okay, I'm going to pick B, Alain Prost.
Why are you picking B?
Why not?
No, but there's got to be some logic to it.
He's a closet fan of Alain Prost, admit it.
I admit it.
All right, so you're picking Prost. What about you, Ryan? Who are you going to pick?
Ryan's muted, and I'm not Ryan.
Oh, you're not. Sorry. Okay, Yuha, who do you think the answer is?
What was the first option you said?
The options are PK,
Yeah, PK.
Prost. You're going to pick PK.
Yeah.
Well, you're correct. It's Nelson Piquet. 1982, 84, and 91. Which means wrong. That Alberto's wrong.
My other option was Piquet.
All right, so that was the race. Let's see now. I'm going to go to the green room and see who would like to chat about the Labatt Grand Prix du Canada. Grand Prix Labatt du Canada, actually. Now that I think about it. Let's see who we have here. We do have Yuha. Yuha, sorry to see your event-filled race. You had that one incident early on with, I believe it was Coxon, and then
yeah,
you had.
it was Coxon. Rather unfortunate. I didn't see. Well, I didn't expect him, and then I didn't see him. But I've already seen the replay, and yeah, my fault.
All right, so we are now joined by the winner of the Canadian Grand Prix, Anders Nilsson. Anders, congratulations on a very good drive, very smooth and consistent. Was it as smooth and as uneventful as it appeared from our commentary booth?
No, I can tell you that, and thank you for that. Yeah, it wasn't. It was hard fighting. It was, and I knew I had to be consistent, trying to get the lap times, because I couldn't boost up, because then it was just so. I was pressuring Wilkes as much as possible, trying getting him to use fuel, saving a bit behind him. So, and finally, I felt like I need to pass because I need to get into my rhythm, and it worked. But it wasn't a smooth sailing. It was, and the scariest part when was suddenly I saw a McLaren in my rearview mirror. Where the fuck did he come from?
Welcome to family programming, folks.
Sorry, my bad. But
well, sorry for that, Anders. But...
No, but I thought my light timing was screwing up because it said that and I was, oh my God, he's fast, he's pushing me, and then I realized you were lapped. So yeah, but it was a scary moment.
Yep. And let's see, we also have Richard Wilkes, who is our second place finisher. Richard Wilkes, congratulations on another fine performance, and this is going to do good for your point standings, of course. Richard Wilkes is nonplussed.
Hello,
there he
everybody.
is.
Hello?
Oh, there you are.
Oh, I'm here. Hello, everybody. Well, thank you. Yes, not the best result for the championship, but a good result in the race itself. There was not much more I could do. I ended the race with less than 2 liters in the tank, which, according to Anders, was even less than him. So I think whatever, I even, at the last 20 laps, I even tried to speed up a bit, just to see if he was comfortable or not. But then he sped up also, so then I knew he was comfortable and that I couldn't catch him anymore. So that was that. But there was all of us very close together. Even I know David Jakes was in the mix, Grant was still in the mix. But I don't know about Anders, but I don't think anybody was making fuel in those first few laps. I knew I had to dial it back a bit, and I did. And then I could keep a consistent pace all the way to the end, basically.
Interesting. We're also joined by Richard Coxon, who finished third today. Good drive for you, Richard. You made 2 stops in the race. Can you fill us in on the strategy surrounding that?
The tyres just didn't want to work for me, and it was getting very uncomfortable. So I thought it's better to be safe, and then I realised how much quicker I could be. So I thought I might as well hit again, sorry, and it worked out in the end.
That's quite interesting because you were on super softs, and also seems to be the case for Anders Nilsson. But Anders, did you stop only once or twice?
I stopped once. Yep.
Yes, because that's what I was wondering. I didn't see you stop twice, and yet you made the tires last. While Coxon tells us that he was very uncomfortable. That's very interesting. You guys seem to have very different driving styles, despite sharing their setups and everything else.
Anders seems more comfortable if the car's a bit looser, whereas I'm not. Or I know we had slightly different setups, so maybe his was suited better.
So you're leaning more on the fronts when it comes to the turns than Anders.
Maybe. I mean, for me, it was mainly the quick stuff at the end of the lap where the car was getting uncomfortable, and if you make a mistake in there, you're not recovering from it.
No.
And lastly, in the green
Speaking
room.
of setups, maybe some interesting tidbits.
Lastly, in the green room.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're right.
I was just gonna say. That.
Lastly.
I'm a bit lagged, I know. I was just gonna say that I thought about using super softs, but with the torque that the Renault has. Things could get hairy with the tires more worn out. Plus, when I reduced the height, but it's actually the suspension stiffness in my pit stop, I think the car became too low actually, and it was dragging a lot, and that maybe prevented me from being a bit quicker in the end of the race. But I don't know, for the people that like the technical stuff, I guess I could add this little tidbit.
All right, and we also have Jonathan Asselklint, who finished 11th, which was a really great performance. I believe that's 12 places you improved from your start. Great job.
Thank you very much. Yeah, aim was to finish, and that I did. I almost got a top 10, but I had a bit of a late race incident, so happy to finish at least.
Well, I think, I don't know if you're planning on picking up a car for the next race, but in Detroit, and yeah, we could talk about the mean streets of Detroit while we have everybody here. Welcome to my hometown next time out in 2 weeks' time. What are your thoughts on Detroit? And be nice.
Having seen the work that's gone into it and the result of it, it'll certainly be a very, very charming and very enjoyable place to race. That I'm sure of, whether I get to race or just to watch the broadcast.
Well, I would say that it's going to be a lot like Monaco in terms of the attrition, but also, I don't know, Wilkes, do you think that this is going to be another race where the Renault Turbo will do well? We saw what happened, those of us who've watched the actual race. For a bit, it was a Ligier show in real life. What do you think might happen?
Well, I think if Grant is fit, it's going to be a Ligier show again, also in our virtual world. There's no concerns about fuel, so yes, the power and ultimate speed will be the most important thing. And the Ligier is a very agile car around all those 90-degree corners. So I think I expect to see the powerful cars and the nimble cars together, which is basically the Ligier, maybe the Lotuses and etc. back there on top.
All right. Well, we were talking about Detroit, and that is the next round in this championship on Sunday, May the 2nd, round 7, and the green light will be at 2000 CET. I will be broadcasting that race, and get ready for a very Detroit-centric broadcast. We'll have Detroit local ads from 1986, and you can be sure that I'll be calling every single piece of road by the actual street name. And it's I warn you ahead of time, it's going to be very locally flavored. So have a Coney dog and a Faygo, and maybe buy a mattress from Art Van while you're here, because it's going to be a very Detroit Grand Prix here at ISO. Next week, we have the Molson Diamond Indy, turning left and right in the Indy cars. Yes, you heard that correctly. And then, of course, coming up very quickly, it'll be here before we know it, the month of May, the Indianapolis 500 time trials. Johnny Aces, are you going to try to qualify a car for somebody?
If anyone needs me, I'll try, but other than that, I'll just enjoy the show.
Mm-hmm. Which would then come the following week on May the 16th. And then we have sports car racing. Yes, we actually do race cars with fenders once in a while. The Flugplatzrennen Diepholz, 1984 DRM round 3 of 6. Airport tracks. I know that's Coxon's favorite.
I'm not even responding to
you're not going to respond. Oh no! Now let's not make him upset, okay? All right. Well, that was a really exciting race. I'll be curious to see how things go in Detroit. Obviously, not just from an aesthetic point of view, but also because the point situation is so there's so much parity so far. So, thank you so much to my broadcast partners Alberto and Ryan for calling the race with me here, and we look forward to seeing you all next time. So for Alberto, Anders, Jonathan, Juha, the Richards, and Ryan Walker, this is Jason White saying so long from Montreal. We'll see you next time. Please be safe.